Alright, so for this, I'm just feeling like I want to start with drums here and maybe just not include this melody. Because I feel like so far it kind of is adding a more like calm vibe and I kind of want to pick up the energy here. Yeah. So in this case, I'm just going to go with what I vibe with. I'm just going to start with some hats. I'm going to stop here. So like here, we're also kind of choosing the direction of the sound, right? I would say that like I would say that in general, like these different hat textures fit into like there can be different hats, multiple hats that fit within this loop, right? But then it kind of it'll become an active decision or it'll become a decision that you make because it will color in the rest of this track, right? So with this track, I think I'm trying to aim for something that carries energy and carries aggression, but is also more relaxed, like more yeah, just down. So I'm gonna look for a hat that I might not be able to describe it, but that fits that vibe. So I think I'm just gonna go with this one. This one's cool, but if anything, I'll use it as a texture because I'll just keep it as a potential texture because it's just like not filling the frequency that I want to be filled by a hat exactly. You can clearly see that this frequency here is very different and distinct from, like, for example, this frequency. Or that's actually not even the best example. It's like one of these frequencies can be much higher. And especially in this type of more morose, like depressed type of sound, there's not going to be much filling up this area. So I'm definitely not going to choose this as my main hat. So I'll just keep that real simple right now, and then let's just move on to a potential snare. But one thing I noticed is that you should be very careful about doing this, especially on your drums, and depending on the type of track that you're working with and how comfortable you are. But I found that adding reverb really can change up and shift up the way that especially drums sound. Like see, like there's like a certain frequency that comes out and is like emphasized with this reverb on that is not like, where is that like this entire that type of frequency just does not exist without this reverb. And now with that reverb, I'm kind of messing with it. But again, you got to be really careful, especially with something like a snare. Like you need this to cut through the mix, kind of in most cases, regardless of whatever type of sound or whatever type of track you're going for. just keep it like that for now and keep it simple. Again, like I'm not too worried about doing anything final. I just want to have something that is within the general vibe. Let's see if I can just add some other type of texture to this drop here. Or like an effect. A siren. That could be kind of sick. Let's try to pitch it down a bit. So here, I'm just going to think about, in terms of the arrangement of the beat, how to move forward from here. So what I'm thinking is that, first of all, I want to bring this bell in finally, because I had a sense that it would have been better for like a calmer part of this beat. Okay, I also hate that this just ends. So I'm actually going to do this trick where I'm just going to keep this bass going, but I'm not going to... So if you notice, like, I think that this bass line has way too much presence in this potentially like verse, or this area that's supposed to be more calm, right? So obviously one of the things that we can change here is just by automating volume, but that's not exactly what I want to show you or suggest that you try out. Because to me, the problem is not even the volume itself, but just like the kind of overbearing presence and the weight of this bass line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lighten it by adding some reverb. Let's actually add some variety, but just let's see what happens if I just remove this part for now and then add it back in the second half of this verse section. Let's just bring this part back in for now. So this is something that Okay, awesome. So all that's really happened here is that when I was kind of just copy pasting this first section, I'll just start to add locators here. Yeah, there's just this really interesting part of this siren that gets cut off, and it sounds like this. And when I play it here, it just sounds dope, so I'm going to add it as an instrument. Take this reverb off. And let's actually just have this in the first verse as well. Alright, so I'm gonna cut here. I'm gonna work on this a bit more, change some arrangement stuff, change some mixing stuff, and I'm gonna get back to y'all in a second. Peace. Alright, so I'm back. I have done some mixing here and I've made some changes to the arrangement, some of the instrument choices in the drums. I have changed the kick and I have changed drastically the rhythm of the hi-hats to be basically half-timed, and yeah, the other stuff, I think it's better for you just to listen and see what you notice, see what you mess with. So there's a very rough draft of what I want this beat to sound like. I think that the last thing I want to work on together with y'all is trying to see if we can add just one more melody or one more texture to this piece. Yeah, right now I feel like it is dragging just a little bit. I'd like to add just something a little bit more to this beat, to the song, to add a little bit more variety, to add a little bit more progression. So I want to see if we can add one more simple melody. So yeah, I'm gonna listen to this part. Yeah, I'm just gonna try and listen to what comes to me like in my head. So I'm thinking about something like this. And so what I'll do, or one option for what I could do to try to make a melody, is to just take something basic like this, and like literally all I've done here is just try to hear a note that sounds good and the note that makes sense. Follow me. Like, I think that I can go into more detail about how I choose to make my own melodies, but for right now I just want to discuss this idea of making a skeleton of melody and kind of adding on top of it, because I mean, this could work with the right instrument. This could absolutely work to deliver on what I want. But I want to see if I can mix it up just a little bit. Let's try to just make this happen. Let's try to just make this happen faster. Let's try that. So I mean, so far, I'm messing with this for this this verse section, or whatever you want to call it, this chorus section. I guess it kind of depends on what you're looking, or what kind of vibe you're going for. But yeah, regardless, I'm messing with this. I want to see how it sounds like here. this last switching up here, this last switching up here, I'm not so sure about. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna duplicate this. So first of all, this is not an ideal instrument either. So what I want to do is I just want to search through, I'm probably gonna use Arcade and Vital and try to see what I can figure out in terms of making or choosing an instrument that better fits the vibe of this beat or exactly where I want it to go. So I'll do that and be right back. Yep, I'm not messing with it. I think I'd rather keep this one. And I'm just gonna mess with the rhythm a little bit because it's just a little bit way too fucking basic for me. Go back to just repeating this first phrase over. Actually, this like upper melody is too much for me. Alright, so that's where I'm going to leave this beat for now. I'm going to mix it down. I'm going to see how my opinion of it changes as this song kind of marinates for me. You might notice some changes in melody, some changes in sound selection from this version of the beat to the final version of the beat that I release and post on my YouTube channel, which there'll probably be a link for below for that video for beat leasing. Yeah, this is a little bit of a different style of video for me. I'm a lot more laid back and kind of trying to be in my own elements and my own zone, which I traditionally and often am when I'm creating my own tracks, my own music. But I hope that y'all mess with the sound. I hope y'all mess with the beat. If you guys are trying to create anything with this loop or any loops like it, you can check out my free loop kit below. There's going to be 2 links. One of them is to a YouTube video that is going to showcase all of the loops in the loop kit, and the other one is the link to the actual download itself. So yeah, I hope you all mess with the beat. I hope you all mess with my sound. Thank you so much for spending this time with me, and let me know if you guys have any feedback, both positive or negative, on the style of the video, the style of my presentation, or anything that you liked about the beat, or anything that you didn't like about that beat. But yeah, thank you so much for spending this time with me. I hope you all come back and chill with me again soon. Yeah, peace.